AITAH, for not letting my husband relight my daughter's birthday candles for my 3-year-old to blow out. I'm 32F and I have two wonderful kids, my daughter, who just turned 10, and my son, who's 3. My husband, 35M, and I have a pretty solid marriage and generally share the same parenting values, except when we don't. This past weekend was one of those rare, uncomfortable exceptions, and now I can't stop replaying the moment in my head, wondering if I went too far. So here's what happened. In our home, we have a little birthday tradition. On the day of someone's birthday, I let them pick the menu for dinner and dessert. It's usually just a small family thing, with a bigger party scheduled later. It's not extravagant, but it's special, something that's just for them. This year, my daughter asked for baked mac and cheese and a strawberry shortcake with whipped cream. She's not big on icing or overly sugary stuff, so I made it just the way she likes, simple, fresh, and hers. Throughout the day, my 3-year-old son was visibly excited. You know how toddlers are hyper, expressive, and sometimes oblivious to social norms. He kept asking, "Is it cake time yet? And when do we sing?" At one point, he tried sneaking a finger into the whipped cream and got a very stern look from me. I wasn't upset, just trying to manage expectations. But knowing how kids can be, I took the time to sit him down a few times during the day and explain. Today is your sister's birthday. That means it's her special day. You can watch and have cake, but the singing and candle blowing, that's for her. You'll have your day soon. He seemed to understand, at least as much as a 3-year-old can. He nodded, ran off to play, and I thought we were good. So after dinner, we dimmed the lights and brought out the cake. The candles glowed against the whipped cream, and we all sang happy birthday while my daughter truly beamed in the warm light. When the song ended, she took a deep breath and blew out the candles, her eyes sparkling with pride. I could tell that moment meant something to her. It wasn't just about the cake. It was about being seen, celebrated, and feeling important. Then and here, where the tension started, my husband reached for the lighter and said, "Let's light them again so the baby can blow them out too." I froze. In my head, I heard a record scratch. My daughter had just had her moment, and now, suddenly, it was being repurposed for someone else. I felt this jolt, not anger exactly, but something protective. Territorial, maybe. I said, "No, it's her birthday. I'm not going to make her share this moment." He looked surprised, even hurt. "I was just trying to keep him happy," he said, holding the lighter like it might vanish. "It's not a big deal." And that's the thing, maybe to him, it wasn't a big deal. But to me, it was. I've read all those stories online, the ones where kids grow up never learning boundaries because every special moment has to be shared or made fair. I've seen kids blow out candles on someone else's cake, throw tantrums when they're not the center of attention, and parents nervously laugh it off like it's cute. But I didn't want that for my daughter, and I definitely didn't want that for my son. I didn't want her to feel like even her own birthday couldn't truly be hers, like every celebration had to come with an asterisk. I didn't want him to grow up thinking every spotlight should naturally shift to him, even if just for a moment. So I put my foot down, probably a little harder than I meant to. My husband's face fell. He quietly put the lighter down and said, "All right." The room felt suddenly colder. No one really said anything, and we moved on. Cake was served. The kids got whipped cream all over their faces, and the evening wrapped up, but he didn't really talk to me for the rest of the night. Later, after the kids were asleep, he sat on the couch watching a movie and didn't really respond when I asked if he wanted tea. I could feel the distance between us, not anger but disappointment. I think he felt scolded, maybe even embarrassed, and I hated that. I didn't mean to snap. I didn't want to make him feel like a bad dad. He's not. He's an amazing father, affectionate, involved, the kind of man who gets up early to make pancakes shaped like dinosaurs and builds blanket forts in the living room. But in that moment, I felt like I was the only one defending our daughter's sense of self. Now, a couple of days later, I keep wondering, was I wrong? Maybe there was a gentler way to handle it. Maybe we could have waited until later and let our son blow out a candle on his own. Maybe I could have just said, "Let's do that tomorrow when it's just us." But I also can't shake the feeling that if I hadn't spoken up, I would have regretted it, and maybe my daughter would have felt that too. Like her joy had to be rationed out to keep the peace.